Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 7 of the F1 2019 Haas A Road to Glory career mode. And if you guys have missed out on the last episode at the Monaco Grand Prix, it was pretty gutting to put it simply. But obviously if you guys do want to go check that video out, click the I at the top right hand side of your screen. So there will also be a link to the full playlist there as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys do go back and check that out if you have missed the last race. And obviously if you guys are new around here and you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure you do get yourself subscribed. But coming into then the Canadian Grand Prix, 2 upgrades for the aero finally coming in, and this is really important. We're trying to build up, you know, a little bit of momentum with this car now, and you can see those 2 upgrades are really bringing us theoretically very close to Renault, although if the race is running to go by so far this season, Force India definitely seemed like the midfield team that we need to beat. The aim probably by the end of season 1 is to be, you know, consistently top of the midfield, potentially hassling Red Bull a little bit more as well, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about that one. You know, it's all about trying to build up this car, you know, ready for season 2, perhaps even season 3. We don't really know sort of how much the development matters on F1 2019. You know, we don't know the development pace and everything like that just yet. So obviously if you guys do want to, you know, sort of learn more things about that, I am planning on keeping this series daily for as much as I possibly can. So obviously you guys can, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll get to those points pretty early on F1 2019. But yeah, free practice though, as always, pretty simple. We score some good points. We're up to 418 overall. We want to try and get some more upgrades on the car as soon as possible. I'm also trying to have a bit of a look into, you know, just trying to really sort of force the quality control up, everything like that. I don't want to have to be wasting R&D points further down the line. But anyway, let's move on then into qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix for today's qualifying session.
So here we are then, ready for Q1 then here at the Canadian Grand Prix. And going out on to my first lap, you can see we actually set a banker on the medium compound tyres. So 1 minute 11.0, not too bad a lap, but nothing particularly groundbreaking either there. And sadly it would mean that we'd have to go out for a second run towards the end of the session there. In towards the final chicane, getting a nice slipstream from Lando Norris there. Really happy with that one. Get a good run through the final chicane and down towards the line. We're going to be, what, near enough 8 tenths up in the end there. 1 minute 10.2 actually splits the Force Indias for P8 there at the end of that session. Yeah, really happy with that one there. P8 at the end of Q1, but like I said, we did get that slipstream from Lando Norris, which was certainly very useful in towards the final couple of corners. Certainly gave me a good couple of tenths there at the end of the session. So it was looking very tight between pretty much the whole of the midfield there. You can see the gap between Lucas in front of me and Lando Norris at the rear of the field was 9 tenths of a second there. Lando missed out on Q2 by 1/10 of a second and starts last on the grid, ready for tomorrow's Grand Prix. That really does go show how tight this midfield really is as we now come down towards the end of our Q2 run here and down towards the line. It's not going to quite be our Q1 lap, but it is going to be on 1 minute 10.462 there, and it leaves us 10th right on the cusp as we come towards the end of this session there. And by the end though, sadly we just miss out on Q3. Romain Grosjean, my teammate, would actually be the one who knocked me out in the end there, and a little bit gutted by that one. But looking back at the Spanish Grand Prix, we started in P11 there. We did score some good points in that Grand Prix. So hopefully, potentially, you know, a bit of a better strategy in the race, we can still find ourselves scoring some good, decent points there. But obviously, wanted to try and beat my teammate in the end as well there in that session. But hopefully, it should mean now with a few extra R&D points, we can go for yet another quality control upgrade on the car as well. We're really focusing on that aero in the early stage of this season. It's a bit of a gamble if, you know, there's a refresh of rules for the F1 2020. You know, unfortunately we could get absolutely screwed by that, but on the other hand, if it's another part to the car, then we could be absolutely saved as well. So yeah, like I said, we will be going for the stage 3 wind tunnel quality control upgrade that reduces the total failure to, well, I don't get how the odds work on this, because it's now up to 22.5%. Is that it means it's 77.5% chance of failure still? I don't really know at the end of the day there, but whatever it is, we'll just roll with it and continue on there. 700 R&D points takes us back down to about 80 at the moment, but really trying to spend them all as soon as possible. But anyway, let's move on then into the Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Pierre Gasly and Verstappen, Butler, Weber, Perez and Roman Grosjean, Mr. Monaco, Ricciardo, George Russell and Kvyat. Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Carlos Sainz and Robert Kubica, Albon and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are then at Canada, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, one of my favourite tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. I'm really excited for this Grand Prix. Starting just outside the top 10 was not quite the ideal place for myself, but hopefully with a bit of an alternate strategy, we can have some good luck in the race. The team are recommending the 2 stops on each set of compound tyres there. A little bit of an interesting one, but we're going to try to make the 1 stop work. The mediums to the hard compound tyres here. It's certainly going to be a bit of a gamble in this Grand Prix. See if this one can pay off, but we'll have to wait and see. I really do want to try it because, well, it worked so well out at the Spanish Grand Prix. I was hoping for a bit of the same sort of story here today at Canada. Putting a lot of spare fuel in the car there as well. About 10% extra fuel than what we need. But we are then ready. The 5 lights are now on here at Canada, and it's lights out and away we go. Off to a fairly average start. Once again, again a little bit of wheel spin as on the change between 3rd and 4th as we come in towards turn 1 there side by side with my teammate Roman Grosjean here. We're going to try and hook it up around the outside of my teammate here. Sadly on the exit of the corner though, we're not going to quite be able to get the run here as we come in towards the second chicane of lap 1 here, and the Force India is just in front, really constant teeter and everyone up just behind them here. Weber and Perez going very slow. We're going to have a look back at the inside of my teammate Grosjean there, but he turns in on me, completely puts me around, and no idea what that was all about. Grosjean, it wasn't, you know, it was a bit of a late move, but it wasn't surely that late, and then it looked like there was no even attempt for Grosjean to give me any sort of space there, just completely committed to the corner, and that was not what we needed off the start of this Grand Prix. That sent us right down to the rear of the field there, and well, that is just absolutely devastating off the start. And let's just have a bit of a look back at that one there. You can see we are just about alongside as we come in towards the corner there, but Grosjean fully committed, still fully committed. It's like I'm not even there, and I must admit the AI on F1 2019 much more aggressive, but when you get moments like that, it is just so frustrating. Like I said, it was a little bit late, but it's lap 1. Surely you've got to expect something to be going on behind you there, and it was the fact that Grosjean didn't even look like he'd noticed me either there in the end that really sort of was disappointing there. And like I said, to the rear of the field we go, and now I need to start a little bit of a fight back. But sadly, like I said, you know, qualifying was just so close. Everyone, you know, basically all the way down towards the rear of the field, even Williams, because of the Mercedes power units. It was just so tightly bunched between everyone that it really was going to make it difficult if we could try and build up the pace and the momentum in this Grand Prix here. We do get past Lando Norris towards the end of lap 4 even, sorry, I should say, and 1 lap later we've got Giovinazzi and I think that's Robert Kubica having a bit of a ding-dong in towards the final chicane now. That's going to be a nice, potentially a bit of an open door for myself. Are we going to be able to get the run? Sadly, it's going to be pretty even. The same power unit in Giovinazzi's car as myself. We're going to go for a bit of a lunge in towards turn 1 there. And once again, AI tries to turn on me this time around, taking none of it, actually opening up the steering rack so we don't get sent around that time. And yeah, we do a very, very robust move, but we do make a move work on to Antonio Giovinazzi there. We can see a couple of laps later, already struggling as well with engine temperatures in this race. It is a big, big thing on F1 2019, and that was unfortunately tearing the ICE up as well here. We're already up to over 60% wear on this power unit, so we really did need to focus on that as well here. Qubits will get a good run on Alexander Albon as we come in towards turn 1 on the start of lap 8 here. And are they going to be able to go for any sort of move on the power? We're going to try and go for a bit of a weird switchback move through turn 2 there, but sadly not able to get the traction on the exit of the corner there. We do have to hold in just behind at the moment there. They're going to get a bit tangled up through the next couple of corners there. Is Kubica going to be able to make this move work? No, not just yet. He hangs around the outside. Albon, he tries to keep the nose in. Albon using his mirrors, gives him the room, but he didn't even need to. Not at all salty from that one there. But yeah, Kubica has to bail out that one. And now we've got Giovinazzi trying to line up a move on myself there. Storms up the inside in towards the next couple of corners there. Parks it on the apex. We're hooking up right back around the outside. And we're now back up into P17 of this Grand Prix. But once again, just able to get the run on the exit of the corner there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact made between the pair of us there as we try to come in towards the hairpin, just rubbing into the back of Robert Kubica just in front of me here. And now we need to try and get a good run down this straightaway. Still trying to opt for the sensible one-stop strategy in this Grand Prix there. And Giovinazzi actually runs into the back of me as we come in towards the final chicane one more time now. Are we going to be able to get any sort of run on Alexander Albon? Kubica storms around the outside there, and this, we had to go full send on Albon because we just could not make up places on raw pace alone. They get up the inside in towards turn 1, and now we do move ourselves up into P13 of the Grand Prix. We've got Valtteri Bottas exiting the pit lane here. He's going to look up the inside there and send it on Robert Kubica. I could not believe he went for that one there. That really, really unsettles everyone behind Bottas, though. Well, the dive bomb of the century on Robert Kubica there. I cannot believe he even went for that one. The fact that Robert, once again, some of the AI loving to give a bit of room to the other drivers on the race circuit there. But unfortunately, yeah, you can just see the ICE 61%. My engine up to 130 degrees as well. They're starting to get a little bit toasty in towards the rear of the car there. And as we head on to the end of lap 9 here, we're now all over the back of Robert Kubica. All of this adding up was just cutting out the power. And as I'm sure all of you are aware, Canada is just such a power-orientated circuit there around the outside of Robert Kubica. We go in towards turn 1, moves to the inside for turn 2 there. But yeah, like I was saying, just this track is so power-orientated, and everything at the moment was gearing towards a lack of power in this Grand Prix. Really not what we wanted at this Canadian GP, and a couple laps later we would dive it in for our first pit stop of the day, struggling with the rear tyre temps as well there. And unfortunately, yeah, with the power inconsistency, we were getting a lot of wheel spin in a few places as well. Get a nice tidy pit stop though onto a set of these soft compound tyres here. We're probably going to try and take these, and maybe another set of softs, maybe another set of the mediums. We'll have to wait and see. But coming into the second stint though of this race, and I really just wanted to try and keep it nice and tidy, reduce the wheel spin, and just take these tyres as far as possible. It has really been a bit of a disappointing race so far, to be honest with you. Like I said, just the AI so even around this track. Everyone from Force India down to Williams so far in this Grand Prix. It really did make it difficult. Sadly, just getting roped into more and more battles with Albon and Kubica. I don't even know what that is going through the final chicane between the pair of them there. It was really, really costing me any sort of potential to hassle for the points in this Grand Prix there. We're going to have a look at the inside of Kubica there once again in towards turn 1. Hopefully, please, this time round, can we just try and break away from these guys? I can't deal with them anymore, as we almost bin it as we come through the exit of turn 2 there. Lando Norris further up the road, and a few laps later, I think he was actually having issues at this stage of the day. We were going to be able to fly past him like he was standing still in towards the final couple of corners there. Take a lot of curb through the final couple of corners. But yeah, now we were up into P12 at this stage of the day here. Quite a few laps later, everyone's starting to now make their second pit stops of the afternoon, and now starting to struggle with the rear tyre, where once again we get a little bit of a loose moment there. Kimi Räikkönen, it's going to be an open door for him there. Pierre Gasly almost makes it 3 wide as we come in towards the next couple of corners there. No idea what line that is by Kimi Räikkönen. We have to cut the corners to try and avoid him on the exit. And once again, the Alpha's really getting good drive on the exit of the corners there. Gasly's going to try and follow him through, and we're just going to try and keep the nose up the inside there. And for the second time in, what, 4 races, we're just going to get tangled up with one of the Red Bull cars there. Just a horrible low-speed spin for Pierre Gasly there. And, you know, I was still up the inside there or thereabouts. It was a little bit of a desperation attempt by myself. But yeah, it wouldn't be too much longer before we go back to the pit lane there. Get held up because Grosjean had dived in as well, and just once again cannot select second gear, or even, sorry, first gear I should say, on the exit of the pit lane. And I must admit, at this point of the day, I just get really flustered, really annoyed. 13 laps ago this Canadian Grand Prix, I so desperately wanted it to be over as we sit all the way down in P18 and almost get penalty as well on the exit of the pit lane, and a nice load of wheel spin once again here. And you know, K-Mag, when he was saying in the real life 2019 Canadian Grand Prix about how it was just horrible, I can understand his plight now in this race, because I really did feel like I was having the same sort of day as K-Mag there, but obviously not willing to say it to Gunther Steiner. Personally myself, he's not really a man that I fancy having an argument with. I'll be entirely honest with you there. 9 laps to go of the Grand Prix. We were now slowly but surely closing up the back of Carlos Sainz here as we come in towards the final couple of corners of lap 26 there. We're going to be able to get the good run, and around the outside we go in towards turn 1 there. Once again, Mclaren really just struggling for race pace here today in this Canadian Grand Prix. It's been a little bit of a disappointing start to the season for McLaren, but a couple of laps later, sadly, the tyres once again just would not make it. We go on to a set of the mediums and just try to take them through to the end of the Grand Prix. The engine was overheating. Well, the engine, like I said, was overheating. It was shredding the engine parts as well. The ICE almost up to, I think, 70% wear by this late stage of the Grand Prix. I was honestly contemplating retiring, but after, you know, the retirement last time out at the Monaco Grand Prix, you know, I just thought we need to try and get this car to the end of the race there. Charles Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1:12.1, so we would try and go for that one there as we head to the end of lap 30, down towards the line, a 1:11.9. Really happy with that one there, but sadly not inside the top 10. We would not get the fastest lap point. If I'm not mistaken, no one actually got it in the end there, as Max Verstappen unfortunately retires from the Grand Prix right towards the end of the day there as well. Heartbreak for the Red Bull man, but I think, you know, after the spin, he unfortunately got tangled up with Gasly as well there, and yeah, unfortunately it was looking highly unlikely that he'd be able to score any points anyway there. Towards the end, though, of the race, struggling actually with the front downforce. You can see just dinking the front wing, lack of concentration. Gio gets up the inside, nothing we could really do about that one there as well. And with just a couple of laps to go, I'd lost all hope, all concentration, everything like that. We'd even get lapped in this Grand Prix. Think back 2 races ago at the Spanish Grand Prix, we were a sector behind Lewis Hamilton as he came through to win that Grand Prix. This time out, we were lapped by Charles Leclerc in the end of the day there. And really, just like Monaco, a race to forget. We need a bit of a resurgence next time out at the French Grand Prix there. But in towards the final couple of corners, Charles Leclerc wins the race for Ferrari there. His 3rd win, I think, of the season in the end there. Pick up more front wing damage through the final corner, and yeah, just a really disappointing day there. Lack of pace, lack of performance, and unfortunately, yeah, nothing we could really do.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. And after this round of the World Championship, Here's how things look in the driver's table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So having a look then at the end of the day, Charles Leclerc does come through for his third race victory of the season ahead of Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Weber, Perez, Butler, Grosjean, my teammate, scores some, I think that's his best result of the season, if I'm not mistaken there, ahead of Danny Rick and Kimi Raikkonen there. George Russell misses out on points by just 0.7 of a second. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed for poor George there, not able to get any points in that Williams car there. With Danny Kvyat in 12th, Pierre Gasly, Lando, Sainz, Kubica, Gio, myself, and Alexander Albon rounds out the field there, with Max Verstappen the only driver not to make it through to the end of the Grand Prix. In the Drivers' World Championship, Seb still leads the way 3 points ahead of Charles, with Hamilton third. Lucas and Pierre both jump myself there, with Lucas now back up into P6 there. Grosjean jumps Raikkonen as well there to get up into double point scoring haul so far in this World Championship there. And further down the order, Danny Kvyat jumps Albon and Giovinazzi, as still both Williams, both Toro Rossos and Gio yet to put points on the board. No changes in the Constructors' World Championship as we move further into no man's land, but behind Force India of Racing Point and ahead of Renault there at the end of the day. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for sticking around after a little bit of a disappointing race. That I'm going to leave you guys therefore with the race highlights once again. But yeah, hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow for the French Grand Prix.